I've probably made homemade pizza about 10 times in my life, from starting off having no knowledge of proper dough making to finally finding the perfect recipe. In this video, I'm going to share what I've found to be the best version of what I've been chasing for years. Here's my homemade barbecue chicken pizza. For the dough, you'll need 00 flour, all-purpose flour, fine sea salt, dry active yeast, and extra virgin olive oil. To be more specific, you need about 76 grams of the 00 flour, same amount of the all-purpose flour, 4 grams of the fine sea salt, 2 grams of the yeast, and 2 grams of the olive oil. You'll also need around 100 grams of lukewarm water to mix in with everything else. First, get out a large mixing bowl to combine everything. Then, you're going to add the 2 flours and the salt. Then, you're going to grab a whisk and, whisk thoroughly to combine. Then you'll need the yeast, the olive oil, and the water. Add all of those to the dry mixture in your bowl. Then what we're going to do is, yes, by hand, combine the dry and wet ingredients until a homogeneous dough ball forms. Oh, and one thing I'll mention is to always clean up as you go. It makes it much easier on you later on. After resting your dough for about 15 minutes, heavily flour a clean work surface and plop your ball down. Then you're going to aggressively knead for about 3 minutes to develop that gluten. Finally, shape the dough into a taut ball. Make sure to pinch the dough anus shut to add more tension. Place the ball in that same mixing bowl that was also dusted with flour. Cover it with a towel and either let it rest undisturbed at room temperature for 3 to 4 hours, or more preferably, like I did, overnight in the fridge. Now for the barbecue sauce. We're gonna need ketchup, apple cider vinegar, dark brown sugar, smoked Spanish paprika, kosher salt, ground cumin, which I definitely didn't cross out part of the word because I'm immature.
Oh, dude, you're drinking cum powder? Oh!
And finally, some black pepper. In a medium sauce pot, combine 2/3 of a cup of ketchup, half a cup of the cider vinegar, a 1/4 cup of the brown sugar, tightly packed, 2 teaspoons of the smoked paprika, 1 teaspoon of the cum, 1 teaspoon of your kosher salt, and roughly a teaspoon of cracked black pepper. Turn the heat on your stove up to medium, whisk all ingredients together, and simmer for 5 minutes. Folks, this sauce is so easy to make and is so damn good. I actually splurged on the smoked Spanish paprika to get the best result, but any smoked paprika will do. We'll get back to the barbecue sauce, but since we have some downtime, we're gonna get some chicken breasts and salt them on both sides. Honestly, 1 chicken breast will do for multiple pizzas, but I like having some leftovers for snacking or topping other dishes. After about 5 minutes, this sauce looks done. So I'm gonna give it a taste for seasoning, and yep, that is 1 tasty barbecue. Once the salt has had time to season the chicken, we'll add our herbs and spices. I just threw on some black pepper, onion powder, cumin, and an all-purpose Italian seasoning. Heat a pan on medium-high heat, and once that's hot, add a glug of olive oil. Begin searing the chicken on the seasoned side first. The herbs and spices will create a nice brown crust. While waiting, make sure to sprinkle the other side with the seasonings as well. Once the first side looks nice and brown like this, flip onto the other side and finish cooking. I recommend getting your chicken to about 150 degrees Fahrenheit for at least 2 minutes to preserve the juiciness while also being food safe. Now, before going all slice happy with these breasts, make sure to rest them for a little while. The cheeses I used are full-fat mozzarella, extra sharp cheddar, and sharp provolone. Now, normally I recommend shredding all of your own cheeses, but bagged mozzarella is fine on a pizza. The anti-caking agent doesn't really play a factor in this particular dish I've found. Now get prepared to cry because it's onion time, baby! Get 1 onion, preferably red, just because it looks prettier for the video in the thumbnail. Cut off the top and bottom, skin it like some sort of onion serial killer, cut it in half, and slice thinly. Now that the chicken has had time to rest, it's time to cube. Let me tell you, this chicken is wet. I found that cubing the chicken instead of slicing it gives you an easier time eating the pizza, not having to deal with bits hanging out of your mouth. Now preheat your oven to its highest setting. Mine goes to 500 degrees Fahrenheit. Heavily flour your work surface again and look just how big your boy has gotten. Then when he's all proud of himself, just fucking punch him. This, along with my little finger technique here, will prevent bubbles from forming while baking. Now I know it's not traditional, but it makes it so much easier to use a rolling pin if you want a more evenly shaped pizza. Then I folded the edges over a little bit for the crust, and then crimping it to, like I said before, prevent bubbles. Transfer your finished dough base to a pizza pan. Add however much barbecue you want. I like it saucy. Top with your mozzarella and half of the cheddar and provolone. Evenly spread out your onion slices as well as your chicken cubes, finishing off with the rest of your cheddar and provolone mixture. Then just kind of marvel at something that's about to become even better. Place the pizza into your preheated oven on the lowest rack possible to get a greater heat transfer. While that bakes, let's make a nice garlic butter for the crust. All you need is some butter, garlic salt, and some Italian seasoning. It's not fancy, but it tastes great. Simply melt the butter and mix in the other ingredients to taste. I didn't actually time how long my pizza was in for, but if your crust and cheese are starting to brown, that's when you know it's done. Immediately brush the crust with the garlic butter, drizzle on some extra barbecue, and sprinkle with some more Italian seasoning and optionally some red pepper flakes. I'm just gonna cut this beauty into 8 slices, and now it's time for the taste test. Okay, so as you can see down here, we have this beautiful looking pizza. I'm gonna try this slice right here. Let's see if we can get up close of the crumb of the pizza. This looks beautiful. All right, let's see. Best pizza I've ever fucking made. So good. So good. I got you! I'm gonna get copyright striked if I keep going.